this right here is from Friday. This was released on Friday of the game update 7.8 content that is coming to the public test server very, very soon. I am guessing not this week, but next week, since the video has just come out. So it will be close. We will get it soon. So let's hear this. Okay, let's hear it, because I actually would like to talk to you guys about this. This is really, really, really cool news. So let's see.
Hello everyone, I'm Eric Musco, Game Director for Star Wars The Old Republic, and I'm stoked to tell you about some of the content that will be coming in Game Update 7.8.
Eric. I love Eric, okay? Eric is a great guy.
As Keith mentioned in his most recent producer letter, there are going to be some dynamic things happening over on Dantuine. And as many of you guessed, we are bringing dynamic encounters to the Outer Rim planet, but in a new and interesting way. More on that in a second. For those that may not know what a dynamic encounter is, I'm glad that you asked. These timed missions breathe life into the planets they inhabit and give you a feeling of always having something new to uncover. Maybe a new band is trying to get started on Tatooine and they need help with a little bit of promotion. Or piloting your very own walker on Ord Mantell.
This is great promotional footage, by the way.
Or repelling a Chlor Slug invasion of a Sith temple.
However, can I just point this out? Okay, I'm gonna be a real ding-dong, okay? I'm sorry, Eric and the team over there, but you have recorded this where you can't see UI and so on. Why wouldn't you remove the numbers? It would look better when we couldn't see combat numbers and that vet is healing you. Please, remove that kind of stuff. It will look better for videos.
Korriban. There's always something new popping up with dynamic encounters across 9 planets so far, with tons of rewards to earn, including stronghold decorations, mini pets, armor sets, mounts, and more. So with that in mind, dynamic encounters are coming, or well, crashing, onto Dantuine.
Oh yeah. So the beginning here is just a little, just a little bit of an introduction to what dynamic encounters are. I think it's a really good promotional showing what it does and a lot of the rewards we can get from it as well. And I think dynamic encounters have been a really, really great addition to SWTOR to make the world feel a little bit more alive and something to, to do on your journey to something else. I think they're really good. But here we'll get to the one that's on Dantuine.
Dantuine is a sparsely populated planet far on the outer rim of the Old Republic. Known for its agriculture, rolling hills, vast fields, and hardy bulba trees, it's usually pretty quiet out there outside of the occasional Spring Abundance Festival. That is until recently, when a massive ship of unknown origin crashed into its surface. The vessel suffered heavy damage in the crash, and when it did, a multitude of flora and fauna from all across the galaxy poured out of it and into the local area, followed by droids. The ones that survived the crash, at least.
We all know there's going to be
Droids
Circa.
began performing their primary task, to use the ship's advanced technology to create and sustain habitats for the diverse biology that was aboard that very ship. The crash drew the attention of concerned locals as the ship began to destroy Dantuine's native environment to shape its own, and ultimately reached the ears of the GSI, who sent a small coalition of researchers to study the crash and try to find a way to stop its aggressive expansion.
Like, all of this looks so nice. I think it's going to be Circa. Circa is always going to be involved in some way, okay? But when you see this, like the environment that they have created for this, it looks so good. And that it looks so different now that it's kind of, involving swamp areas onto Dantuine. They're also having like wintry that also will have an effect, but like this one is of course by far my favorite. Like when you see this huge flower-like thing, I can't help but feel like it's like a reference to those alien ships in Elite. What's it called? It's a space simulator game. What's it called? Something Elite. Like they had like alien ships, like organic alien ships coming that look like a big flower, and it kind of reminds me of that. It looks so cool, and I think like it looks amazing. Like this especially is. I'm gonna be taking so many screenshots with this. It's gonna be so good. I think they've really done a good job with the art directing as well, and I'm looking forward to this just sheerly from how it looks. It looks beautiful. So good on them. And we're gonna move to the next part.
When players arrive in the new area on Dantuine, they'll be contacted by the head researcher of the GSI. The situation is more dangerous than they anticipated.
I do love the comlinks. They're really great.
What makes this area's dynamic encounter special? Well, the crash ship has created 3 distinct biomes that the ship's droids are trying to expand into Dantuine. As you complete dynamic encounters inside of each of these biomes, the biomes will level up. And as they increase in level, new dynamic encounters become available, and previously inaccessible areas will open up. Players will work together to progress through each biome and ultimately reach a stage where a challenging 4-player boss becomes available for a short time before the area resets to level 1. Depending on how many players are participating in the zone, you may be able to challenge the boss multiple times a day. It all depends on working together. We've also introduced new tech that allows us to make dynamic encounters even more, well, dynamic, as many of the encounters in this area are not on an entirely set schedule. There'll be plenty of exploration to do and hidden secrets to uncover as you fight back against the ship's dangerous systems.
So with this as well, like I bet a lot of you are also playing other video games, of course. This entire system reminds me a lot of the systems in Guild Wars 2. So that is the MMO that I've played alongside SWTOR, that has had like really big map meta events. That's what they're called over there, where it's the whole map that will be participating, and there's going to be a bunch of players in several groups and so on. That is kind of the feeling I have here as well. You have the 3 different biomes, and that it will be different groups working on the various biomes to get to the middle together. And the one thing I'm hoping, as like what it sounds like here from like the really big droid encounters, is going to be, he says a challenging 4-player boss, which is fine and so on, that it's a minimum requirement of 4 people. I'm kind of hoping it's going to be scaling to depending on how many people are participating. So the more people participating, the more difficult it becomes, because otherwise, if there's like a whole map of like, let's just say 100 people participating, then some will barely get a shot in before it's dead. That is kind of my worry. So I'm hoping that will be taken into account. So we like this thing can be done several times a day. I think is great and so on. But I hope that the boss will not be too easy if you have a whole map full of people participating in it. I'm kind of hoping that it will scale, but we won't know until PTS, of course. And I will definitely be testing this out on PTS as well. I've already roped Korgish, Connor, and Paul into it, and everyone else is welcome to join as well. But I think this is really great, and I am looking forward to testing this out. And I hope we'll get a really good challenge out of it at the same time. Yeah, GSI is always implemented as well, but I think it's going to be Circa. That definitely is participating in this. But I'm just going to continue with this, and I'm going to tell you what I think by the end as well, because here is where he's talking about some of the reward stuff.
We wouldn't ask players to help the people of Dantuine without getting some sweet rewards along the way. For their efforts, players will progress along a new reputation track, and there'll be plenty of rewards to earn, including new achievements, mounts, mini-pets, armor sets, decorations, and more.
I love this one.
Is pretty vague. But let's just say, if you're helping to clean up Dantuine, it'd be really nice if you got the opportunity to have a little plot of land to settle down on. Like your own stronghold, maybe?
Yeah! We're getting it! We're getting it! We are getting a Dantuine stronghold! I'm just so excited with this, especially because like from this shot we're seeing here, it looks like it's like the Metalia estate from KOTOR 1, like it's actually a big stronghold. Like I would be really great with a farmstead, which I think is maybe what this glass house in the back is, that you basically can decorate like with crops and so on, if that's what you want to do. But it looks like an estate, not just a farmstead, which is great. I would have liked, a farmstead, but I think this is also really, really good. We are finally freaking getting a Dantuine stronghold. I'm so happy. I'm so happy about that. It's gonna be so
That was
good.
a lot of information, and I'm willing to bet you're curious to see how everything comes together. Well, I'm happy to report that the crash site outpost on Dantuine will be coming to the public test server soon. Stay tuned for announcements on when PTS will be open. Thank you for watching, and may the force be with you.
Thank you, Eric. So, Twitch chat, my thoughts here is a little bit that it's a ship crash landing onto Dantuine that is altering all of this. So, okay, I have a little theory, okay? I have a little theory that I'm gonna run by with you guys. It's not for sure it's gonna be true. It's a theory. I think the ship that's crash landing is going to be SWTOR, because they're often involved in a bunch of, you know, stuff that they shouldn't be involved in, and they're crash landing, and they have brought a lot of, you know, various fauna and flora and everything, and that is kind of what is the problem. But just because that's aboard doesn't necessarily cause something like this. What could cause something like this? Oh yeah, close to where the Dantuine enclave was an ancient Rakata ruin. If anyone has played Knights of the Old Republic, the first game, there is an old Rakata ruin not very far from the enclave, which, you know, with ancient Rakata Starforge kind of involvement, could do something like this, because that is what has been alluded to when it comes to Kashyyyk, but also to Tatooine, of how they have altered things because Rakatan tech is, you know, there, and there just so happened to be one on Dantuine. It might be a complete shot in the dark, and it doesn't have anything to do with that. That is my theory, and we're gonna see if it's gonna be true. But that is the theory I have, that of why it's altering the, you know, the nature, altering, you know, the environment and the weather and so on. Is that there is an ancient Rakata technology there of, you know, of the builders. And I'm wondering if it's gonna have an implementation in some way. I kind of hope so. I really do kind of hope so. But we will see. We will see. Elder Scrolls Online, you might have a mob of 30 players. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it's SWTOR, where's Minister Saigon? Well, you know, Kai Saigon is always involved as well. But I think it could be both. I think it is SWTOR being greedy as usual. They're crashing, and it just happened to also then be basically activated by Rakatan technology that is already lying dormant on Dantuine. Why not? That would make sense of why it has this effect, and there's going to be a lot of secrets and so on, and I am looking forward to exploring it. I think we won't be getting to see everything on the PTS, but, like, for example, I do not think we get to actually engage with the stronghold on PTS at all. I don't think it's going to be available, which is unfortunate, because I would love to go jump in and have a look around, but I don't think we will. But the events themselves will definitely be part of the PTS, and I do look forward to testing this out, and I'm definitely going to be there. I will probably also be streaming it as well, so, you know, if people want to participate over on PTS, I hope you will join in as well, because we're definitely going to do that. So yeah. Hey Chauncey, it sounds to me like SWTOR was experimenting with rapid colonization tech, planetary terraforming tech that indeed might be based off Rakatan tech, like the Starforge tech that has been floating around a bit in very small forms. It was then to reason that SWTOR got their hands on it and reverse engineered it to a point. That could also be something, yes. That definitely could be. I don't know if it would be so direct, but we don't know yet. I'm just kind of hoping it will be a throwback to the first game, to be honest. That is my hope. My theory, my hope, that it's going to be a throwback to KOTOR, because, you know, Dantuine is such an untapped environment as well, that has so much history into that game, that I'm really, really hoping that it will be part of it. So the boss will be scared to see Paul. Yeah, I know, Power Paul and his cursed UI. That's gonna be the scariest part, yes. So yeah, we will see, okay. But yeah, so this is it. I hope this was good information for you as well, Jason.